Jamal, Radio Raheem. Now, for those who are new to this, wrap it up with this show where I talk about music topics from top 10 lists to album review to just who's the best MC. As long as it's music related, we're going to talk about it. And on this episode, we are doing the Judas and Black Messiah soundtrack review. So stay tuned. So, the soundtrack, it wasn't a bad soundtrack. I'm not going to go in here and say it was a bad soundtrack because it really wasn't. Sonically, it sounded good. They put good MCs, good artists. They didn't cheat it, but I do have some criticism of it. I feel like it wasn't, I guess, political. I don't know how else to really put it. It wasn't political. It seems like they just was like, oh, we're gonna put the best songs together instead of it relating to the film. It could have related to the film a little bit more. I was wondering why No Name backed out of the soundtrack, and then I watched the film and I understood why she backed out. It's a good film, you should watch it, but I understand why she backed out because of the focus. And if you listen to the soundtrack, none of the songs really, or a couple of them, let you know what it's about, but most of them didn't. It wasn't political at all. It was just like, oh, we're gonna put the best songs together, like a compilation album full of various artists. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing. It wasn't a bad, album. It's that I just went in with the expectation that it would be more than just like the best songs. It would be related to the film because that's normally what I want from a soundtrack. Like the Black Panther soundtrack, that's what you got. The Lion King soundtrack, that's what you got. So that's what I was hoping for with this one. But I'm gonna go through what I liked and then what I didn't like and my rating of the album. So and some standout songs. What I liked about the album, Hit Boy, he's continuing his strong year, and I really like that. Hit Boy I feel like he got snubbed last year on nominations, and he's just keeping it up though. He's the best producer right now. Like he's the best one. Him and Madlib is like they up there. But Hit Boy he's on everything. I think his production and the song that he on, which actually surprised me, is one of the better songs on the project. His rap song. So Hit Boy definitely. The fact that the songs on this album aren't bad, is a good thing. You can listen to it. There's like no, there's like a couple songs I would skip, but like you can play it and you can listen to this and it's not like one of those where you got to skip a whole bunch of songs or anything like that. So good songs, all solid. There were some great verses on this album too. That's something I really like. Rhapsody verse, Hit Boy's verses and that song, Jid, and definitely Jay-Z's verse. I like that he corrected I arrived on the day Frank Hampton died and said it instead and put assassination, because that's what that was. But those verses, they had some all solid verses. But I have more problems than I guess good things to say about this. And that's not to say that this is a bad album. I got to keep saying that because it's not a bad album. Um, I would have liked more quote unquote political rappers. Like I would have liked to see like Killer Mike. I already know why we didn't see No Name. I would have liked to see like Kendrick, KRS-One, Public Enemy type of MCs on here. People who talk about this subject matter a lot in their content. Locksmith would have been good on here, but I get they're trying to sell an album. They're not worried about political and all that. They trying to sell the album, get the biggest names you can possibly get, and I understand that, but I would have liked to see more of that on there because these artists focus on political. They always talk about political stuff. They don't just do it for sales. And that's what I wanted on here. Maybe I'm being greedy. I don't know. Beggars can't be choosers. I would have liked a little bit more R&B, a little bit more. Not like a crazy amount, but it's like a little bit more. But that's like me nitpicking. And overall, like I said at the beginning, the soundtrack just didn't give me what the film was about. Um, it didn't give me what I wanted. And that's to say, my expectations was high. I saw the track listing, I saw the artists on there, and I was like, ooh, this is about to be some flames. And it really, it was good, but it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted a political ass album. So the rating I would give this album is a 3.5 out of 5. Good songs, but it doesn't go with the theme of the movie for me. So I definitely knock it for that. There are some standout songs are the Jay-Z and Nipsey, What I Feel Like. I feel like that's a great Jay-Z verse. I don't want to say one of his best verses because he got a lot of great verses, but that's one of the best verses on the soundtrack for sure. Probably the best verse on the soundtrack. Masego, Jid, and Rhapsody, Something Ain't Right. That sounded like a song. That song fit. That's something that's fit on here. That song should have been on the soundtrack. That's a song I was like, yeah. Surge, Teach Me, great song, good song. Those are like the three songs that I'm gonna play. Hit Boy song too is gonna get some play, but yeah, that's been my review of Judas and the Black Messiah. Soundtrack, again, it's not a bad album. It's just not as political as I would have wanted. It's not revolutionary. It's like none of that. They took no risk. That's what it took no risk, and that's my biggest issue. But let me know what you think about the soundtrack. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff the YouTubers tell you to do. Radio Raheem tape comes out every Saturday. Give that a listen. We also have the Harris Show podcast. All that stuff is going to be in the description. So till next time. Peace.